Tron on 4K UHD from 1982. This is absolutely top of my list of movies I most wanted on 4K. So I'm going to review this movie, going over some stuff that stood out to me after watching it for the manyth time. I'm going to talk about the 4K, and then I am going to do a giveaway. So pay attention for the instructions of the giveaway. So I was able to get another copy of Tron on 4K. So the requirements for the giveaway are not for the faint of heart, so pay attention later in the video. For those who this is important for, here is the audio options, and here are the subtitle options. So right off the bat, when the movie started, during the credits, and you just see that these lines are so incredibly clear and colorful, I knew that we were in for something awesome. And it actually stayed this way for the entire movie. It just stayed super detailed. All these tiny lines are super sharp, and it was just incredibly immersive to watch it on 4K. And then these lines start hinting at forming a city, and it switches to this exterior shot, and I was blown away. Even though the exterior shots in this movie are 35mm filmed, and the in the grid world was filmed on 65mm black and white. Like, look at this transition. Like, first of all, I think it's rotoscoped, all the glowing stuff looks incredible. But look at this transition. You probably can't see it on here.
Okay.
But Flynn's face in that
just
shot
my bank statement or phone bill problem again. This is a must.
is amazing.
I understand. Sure,
and
that's for users.
Shots like this,
you're the best program
again,
that's ever been written. You're dogged and relentless. Remember?
The phone can't really pick it up, right? But just sitting and watching it, it's like jaw-droppingly beautiful. So as far as the audio goes, it sounded really great. I think the Tron Legacy 4K sounded a lot better, obviously, because newer, nicer audio. And then I actually like the picture quality on Tron 1982 on the 4K better than the Tron Legacy picture quality. But one thing I was thinking of, and maybe this is blasphemous, as all this like crazy stuff is going down at the end of the movie, and the music is kind of like this. So this is like a sneaky part, kind of like an Obi-Wan turning off the power to the tractor beam kind of a scene. But
intermediate vectors detached.
It just got me thinking, what if Daft Punk rescored this movie? I think that would be really cool. Kind of like Giorgio Moroder's Metropolis, if you've seen that. That's a cool take on Metropolis. Or Dracula, the 4K has an alternate soundtrack on it. So I think it'd be really cool to put Daft Punk music to this movie. Now, one of the very most classic sci-fi things about this movie is actually in the real world. It's after this scene right here where you see all the cubicles.
Your access system.
All right, look at this. Look at all those cubicles.
Think I can have some of your popcorn?
So it's a matte painting.
Sure.
And James over at In Search of Physical Media said that they actually touched up the matte painting and stabilized it. But you can actually see brush strokes on this thing, like on the paint. Do you see that? Can you see that? I love matte paintings in movies, especially when it serves the story, but I just think the endless corporate cubicle farm is such like a dystopian sci-fi future thing, like things like that has like the feel of like 1984 or Fahrenheit 451, just good classic sci-fi has this, or even like Philip K. Dick stuff, right? Where large corporations like this. Anyway, it's just, and it only shows it for a couple seconds and it just moves on. And I think that is one of the strengths of this movie, is it's not like holding your hand. Like, you kind of just have to hang on for the ride. I love this chat between Flynn and, Tron, Alan, and Girl.
Has been thinking about breaking into the system ever since Dillinger canned him.
Coming up.
And he had Group 7 access.
Flynn had access to you too.
So one thing I love doing in movies, particularly 4Ks when they look so good, is looking at the extras and just seeing like, what are they doing? Who's there? Who decided to put these people in this arcade? And watch this part. Okay, establishing shot in the arcade. These two. It's a grandma and grandpa in fancy clothes out on a date to play video games, or maybe they're there to get a kid who stayed out too long. I don't know. I just want to know their story. I want a side. You know what? Tron Ares if you're not going to have Garrett Hedlund, is that his name? And Olivia Wilde, if you're not going to continue the most interesting story in almost any sci-fi movie of an ISO coming out of the grid onto the real world and becoming human, flesh and blood, if you're not going to continue that story, let's continue the story of these old people at this arcade. And like, what are they doing there? Why are they there? That'd be my vote. I'd probably be more interested in that than Tron Ares. Cautiously skeptical and nervous about Tron Ares. Are you excited for Tron Ares? Also, the scene is brought to you by... Boop. So Alan has a very smooth face, and this movie looks incredible. But at about this point in the movie, I started wondering, is it look so clear because there's a lot of DNR here, like digital noise reduction, smoothing out the grain and removing details? I'm going to go with a no. Alan just has a really smooth face. But throughout the entire movie, in the grid scenes and in the real world, like there's just a tiny film grain. So whatever 35mm film they use for this, like it is a beautiful source. And then of course the 65mm for the grid scenes looks great. But there's, if you almost have to stand up close to see the film grain just sitting there tingling. So it's a very good looking 4K picture. Quick side note, I swear I'll make it short. For the reason we want the film grain is because DNR, when it scrubs it out, it pulls detail with it. And so you lose detail when you try to artificially scrub the grain out. So if the grain field, the tingly grain field, is intact in a movie, you know that you are seeing all the detail that was captured on the film. Preach for the film grain. All right, I don't know if this scene's special effects were touched up, but this part where Flynn gets zapped and goes into the computer, holy cow, it was like jaw-dropping, like the detail on all these tiny little lines. Like seriously, it looked like they've just redone it and made it look good. If they made it look this good in 1982, I am gobsmacked. And then just everything about this movie is just made for Dolby Vision. Like it just is so beautiful to look at. How many times am I gonna say that? I don't know. All right, so for the giveaway for the Tron 4K, this is part one. It's gonna be multi-step, so watch through to see what the steps are. So step one is leave a comment of what does this movie mean to you? What does Tron 1982 mean to you? When did you first watch it? Are you a fan? Did you play Light Cycles a million times as a kid or as a grown-up? What does this movie mean to you? So let me know that, and then I will tell you the rest of the requirement to enter the giveaway later. All right, here's some major sci-fi
Of
stuff
the
right here.
MCP.
Listen to this.
You will each receive an identity disc. Everything you do or learn will be imprinted on this disc. If you lose your disc,
So that we can tailor the ads specifically to your personality. The disc in Tron is like your online profile now, where everything is tracked, and that's why the ads that come to you are so specific for things that you've been thinking about or dreaming about, maybe. Anyway, the identity disc just made me think, oh my gosh, since like last time I saw this movie, we basically have a digital identity disc that exists now. So I just think it's cool. It's cool to see parallels in a 1982 movie to nowadays in our dystopian timeline. I do love the drums in the scene. It's almost like a gladiatorial fight or like an execution, the way that the music is going. And I love how in this scene, like Flynn is having a good time. Like he thinks it's a game, and you know, they're trash talking a little bit back and forth, but then Flynn eventually finds out like, holy cow, this is life or death. And I just think it's really cool to see how his like naivete or whatever gets broken as he finds out like this guy dies from him playing the game, and he totally didn't know that. So I just think this is a really cool, powerful scene that is exposition for the grid world, but just, again, like I said earlier, this movie does not hold your hand. You just learn it by watching, kind of like the original Star Wars. All right, speaking of original Star Wars.
This is Blue Leader to Blue Bikes. Run these guys into your jet walls.
Copy, Blue Leader. Copy, Blue Leader. This is Gold 1 to Gold 2 and 3. Split up. Take them one-on-one.
Okay, I know that Gold Leader, Blue Leader, that is just generic like fighter pilot, bomber pilot, like back and forth jargon, but you gotta love the influence of Star Wars in movies like Blue Leader, you know, Gold Leader, like That's a Star Wars influence. So it's cool to see like Akira Kurosawa, like Hidden Fortress, how that influenced Star Wars. And then it's cool to see something like Tron that was influenced by Star Wars. So Star Wars is kind of a nexus point in history. I will say, I was watching this movie with the kids and they had so many questions. You could even say they had all the questions. And I'm not gonna lie, I cannot answer all of them for them, like as far as what's happening. But this sincere question from my 4-year-old daughter was very touching coming up here. Okay, so not that I should have to do this because this movie's all the way from 1982, but a light spoiler coming up here. Ye be warned. Okay, so right here where our good friend Ram dies.
Can you steal a recognizer?
So Ram is sitting here about to perish, and Flynn comes over and is holding his hands. And my 4-year-old daughter asks me, she says, does he love him? As the music is swelling and he's holding his hands. My 4-year-old asked that, and I just thought that was so sweet. And it's just like, yeah, he does. This is appropriate masculine love here, where he's holding someone as they're dying. And I thought that was a really cute thing for her to ask, and it just shows that she's really engaged. Now, I don't think either of my daughters cried during this Tron. Spoiler alert for my Tron Legacy review. There's some tears. Big tears. Gotta love this line from Tron.
You guys know what it's like. You just keep doing what it looks like you're supposed to be doing, no matter how crazy it seems.
Well, that's the way it is for programs, yes.
I hate to disappoint you, pal, but most of the time that's the way it is for users, too.
Right here.
Stranger and stranger.
Straight up Alice in Wonderland homage from the line Curiouser and Curiouser. Very applicable in this movie where you're sucked into another world. Yeah, this intense chase music is part of the reason I'm like, maybe we get Daft Punk to rescore this movie.
Sir, what do you want done with it?
So speaking of this movie just being made for Dolby Vision, like it is just simply beautiful to watch. And on 4K, the colors are deeper and the grid scenes are so bright and amazing looking. I decided that this movie is a comfy movie. And I don't know if you have any comfy movies, but Tron 1982 is one, and this one, Star Trek The Motion Picture, The Director's Edition. It's just a comfy movie that I could watch at any and all times. And it doesn't really have like huge emotion spikes in the movie, and it just looks and sounds beautiful. And I could pretty much have it playing at all times and never get sick of it. So Tron's a comfy movie for me. What's an example of a comfy movie that you have? All right, I am going to show you what I think is the most impressive shot in the entire movie, and then I will talk about the rest of the way to enter to win this giveaway. Okay, we'll get to the most impressive shot in just a minute, but Flynn just showed up in a helicopter because he's now big cheese at the company, because he wrote the video games, not Dillinger. But one quick thing that's a little bit, it's like antithesis to the earlier part of the movie, which is like a corporate dystopia or a dystopian timeline. So it's like corporate justice that he got what the credit for what he did, and that is very unrealistic. Maybe I'm just very pessimistic, but the fact that he gets the proper recognition for his work, it is very utopian. Okay, and now, in my opinion, the most impressive shot of the entire movie.
Greetings, program!
It's literally the last shot. It's this time-lapse shot. There is just an insane amount of detail in this shot, and it is beautiful. So I don't know if this was also 65 millimeter or if it was 35. But the last shot of the movie is the most impressive. Okay, the last part of the giveaway to win Tron is, again, not for the faint of heart. If this doesn't sound like you want to do this, don't worry about it. I won't be offended if you don't want to. So go watch 3 of my other videos. This may sound familiar if you entered to win my Tombstone 4K Steelbook giveaway. So go and watch 3 of my other videos and leave a comment on them. Don't just say comment, leave an actual comment. And then come back to this video and leave another comment saying which 3 videos that you watched. And that is you entering to win the drawing. And then I will randomly pick one of you users, and I will contact you in that comment, and I will say that you won, and then you got to reach out to me. We'll get a hold of each other, and I will mail it to you wherever you are in the world. So enter to win. All right, well, if you are up to the task to enter to win, please do, and hopefully you can get this thing sent to you. And thank you for watching this and enjoying a slow movie chat with me. This is a movie I love and enjoyed my whole life, and this 4K is incredible. Hang in there because it will probably come back in stock, so don't do anything crazy, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cute. End of line.